So am I a storyteller? Absolutely. Am I a liar? I'm not somebody that will lie about things that matter to my kids and to those in my intimate circle. I have bullshitted from time to time in order to save my ego. So I can't pretend I never bullshit from time to time because I'm frightened that people really do know that I'm frightened most of the time, and I struggle with self-doubt. Sometimes I bullshit about that, but less and less the older I get, the less willing I am to bullshit. So let's getting back to this whole confusing world where we view people standing up and speaking their truth, having to find some courage to hold fast whilst other people accuse them of lying. And I, as I said, the cases where there's been abuse just recently coming out, especially Rolf Harris, the first person that came out against Rolf Harris, geez, being called a liar and having a personality discredited. It's tough. And my first two books, by the people that mattered most in my primary circle, I was called a liar and a fraud. And there's a great amount of loss around that biological tribe. And I felt ashamed that I wasn't believed and deeply saddened. But that beautiful, I don't know if you've read that, if you Google, it's called The Invitation. And there's a beautiful line in it. I think it's an ancient Indian reading. But says, can you bear the accusation of betrayal from another and not betray your own soul? That's a big one. Ask yourself that question. If your whole biological tribe threatened to leave you if you honoured yourself, would you honour yourself and stand alone in your truth, all the while being called a liar and bad-mouthed? I remember the time my first book came out, and I used to drink and drug with a lot of people, and people that didn't like me coming out as an addict because they had a worse drinking or drugging problem than I did would unite with my family against me. And it was ironic. I had people saying, she's not an alcoholic. She's not an addict. And oh my God, why would you want to wear that title? But these were people that drank and drugged worse than I did. And if I had a problem, it meant they were fucked. It meant they really had a big problem. And what was interesting was I remember one person in particular, there was a big Mary Ryan's book launch, and I'm talking back in 2000, and one of the women that was recovering from heavy heroin usage, and of course, when I got clean and sober, we didn't have a lot in common, so I didn't socialise with her much anymore. But at 3 a.m, she left on the answering machine at Mary Ryan's this drunken, slurred message that I was a liar and I wasn't really an addict and all this sort of stuff. And then over the years, members of my biological tribe ringing people that have interviewed me and people that had nominated me for awards, calling me a liar. And I remember one of the professors and one of the elite medical people that said, I spoke to one of your biological tribe and they're very unwell people. Are you okay? Do they do this a lot? My goodness, it's horrific what you're up against. And part of me got so sad with all those books coming out. I thought, fuck, I'm never going to write again. It just really ripped me up. But I couldn't help it. I'd write secretly and write privately. And then when I met Mr. Delicious, he just encouraged me to do more and more of my work and just stood by me and has loved me. And the decades nearly clocked over with him now. And I want to write another book. And He's just saying to me, I got your back, you go do it.